Good evening, I'm Joe Skrzyszewski, and thanks for joining us on this Friday night. The two people charged in last February's shooting death of Wade Goodale in Minot now face the chance of life in prison without parole after a jury convicted them today following a week-long trial. Here's my report on today's closing arguments and reaction from Wade's family.
To find the defendant Matthew Richard Anderson guilty of the crime of murder, extreme indifference to human life. To find the defendant Regina Deanne Goodale guilty of the crime of accomplice to murder, extreme indifference to human life.
It took the jury of 12 all of a few hours to return guilty verdicts to the most serious charges at stake, murder and accomplice to murder. The jury was given the option to consider 3 different charges for Matthew Anderson: murder, manslaughter, or negligent homicide, and accomplice to each of those charges for Regina Goodale. In their closing arguments, defense attorneys William Hartle and Stephen Moninger told the jury their clients didn't mean for Wade to die.
The eyewitness who was seated in the passenger seat, he was going to let him live. That shows there was no intent to kill.
She may have told people she wanted her husband beat up. That hurts. But she never told anybody she wanted him killed.
But the jury agreed with State Prosecutor Rosa Larson, who told them the case wasn't about premeditation, but rather extreme indifference.
This isn't Hollywood. You don't shoot to wound. Law enforcement doesn't even do that because that's not real except for in the movies.
Larson on rebuttal, pointing to the nature of Wade's fatal injury as proof it was no accident.
There's blowback on him. That gun was held down on him and shot. If you recall, Whitney didn't hear the gunshot. Nobody called in a gunshot. It was muffled because it was up against him.
After the verdict was read, tears of joy from Wade's loved ones.
Our hearts are just super full right now that the jury saw what we saw in the evidence that was presented in the case.
Judge Todd Cressup ordered Anderson and Goodale to be held in custody pending sentencing in mid-October. Now, we did reach out to the defense attorneys William Hartle and Stephen Moninger, who declined to comment on the verdict. The family says that the children involved are currently living with Wade's mom, Mary Kay.